Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Summertime is fast coming upon us, and with it, time spent outdoors with friends and family and days at the beach. None of which I will actually do, which will just leave me with the final reminder of it actually being summer. The fucking heat. But why not watch a movie bringing almost all of those elements together? Time with friends, the removal of quite a lot of clothing, the great outdoors, and plenty of heat to go around. Part of the Nature Unleashed series, Nature Unleashed Fire is your basic action/horror movie, with the twist being that the danger is simply a forest fire. But rather than spend the time giving us a PSA about preventing forest fires, or anything resembling logical instructions one should follow if they happen to be caught in one, Nature Unleashed Fire instead focuses on a group of young adults and the park ranger who must protect them because, well, that's his job. So it pretty much takes a somewhat unique idea and presents it in as cliché a manner as possible. Yay! Well, let's take a look at Nature Unleashed Fire and see if we should break out the marshmallows and weenies, or if we'd be better off staying at home and playing Wii U. We open to panning stock footage of our setting, the Duluth National Park in Minnesota. Which is a damn hard thing to Google information on. Well, I can find Duluth, Minnesota, the city, but the closest park seems to be 60 miles away. But just like any nature preserve, this national park was also home to quite an extensive mining operation that is now abandoned, and our lead, Ranger Jake, played by Brian Janice, is tasked with ensuring it remains uninhabited. Maybe watch a movie that just pretends to have high quality to it, at least through Act 1. It turns out that it's Tiny and his two miscellaneous extras who were trying to dig here before their lift was unceremoniously attacked by either bad CGI or pretty good real-time PS3 graphics. What the hell were they doing, trespassing to perform menial labor? It's obviously the fault of video games. They never would have done something so irresponsible if not for Minecraft.
Put some other loads like this down there.
Gold? There's gold in this mine? Rich enough that one imbecilic twat working by himself can get several handfuls of it? And yet this mine was abandoned? What fucking danger did they uncover that was too expensive to circumvent? What, did they open a portal to hell or something? But of course he drops his gold and the grill slams shut, trapping him down there while the two extras who are not named and never seen again go to safety, making their existence extremely pointless. It's so sad that the mine elevator safety brake wasn't invented until at the latest 1974. Wait a minute. And he exploded! Somehow! The fuck did he have for lunch? Sugar bombs and Nuka-Cola? Fast forward 6 months down the road, and we meet with the rest of the stars of this movie, a bunch of jackasses who think it's great fun to shred through a national park on motocross bikes, destroying ecosystems and terrorizing wildlife because, hey, it's fun! And now it's time for our professional in the camouflage to show these amateurs how you really fuck up nature. But enough of that. No, that looks far too important. So it's back to watching these dipshits tear through the forest and jump a conveniently arranged log ramp over and over again. Until...
I don't think that's such a good idea, Marcus.
Mel's right. Chris has never jumped a bike.
Oh, he's the meek, timid character that's afraid to jump, but becomes the hero of the hour.
The girls here think it might be a little too difficult. What do you say? I can do it!
Oh, never mind, he's going to jump. And royally fuck it up. Don't you just hate when narcolepsy strikes in the middle of extreme sports?
Hello, 911, we have a bad...
Wow, that was fast. Oh, wait, no, they're just taking off, bringing Ranger Jake back to the fray, but before we get too far in this series of events, let's cut back to Camo Man fucking up the park professionally. Goddamn nature! I fucking hate nature. No, they don't show his face, which with this movie's setup means it's definitely someone we already know. So, let's try to decipher if this is either Tiny or Tiny. You know, movie, it might have helped if you introduced a red herring or two before now. The helicopter comes to the large clearing, but they decide it's not a good landing spot for some reason, and leave to check out the rest of the forest before realizing that the clearing was better to land in than the trees. Still, they don't feel like actually landing, so Jake is lowered via the winch to offer aid.
I'm Ranger Jake Langford. What do we got here?
Fractured tibia.
The fuck? Osteoporosis, anyone? Yes, evidently Chris broke his leg while he lightly fell off his bike, and the blonde is a paramedic. But when Jake and Chris take the wench up, suddenly it's a completely useless, malfunctioning piece of shit!
Goddamn witch!
In reality, all the components of a rescue chopper are double and triple checked to prevent this kind of thing. Then again, in reality, there's no reason that they can't just land there. Obviously, this is all just an excuse to get Jake to join the group on the ground on their journey over the river and through the woods to the nearest hospital. But that doesn't mean he can't use his Super Ranger deductive powers to figure out that Marcus taunted Chris into jumping, and Shado caused the accident.
Gotta wonder, though, what kind of idiot would come up with that brilliant idea, huh?
I'm sorry, what?
That's great. Just introduce yourself with a big heaping scoop of animosity. And also, why does this park ranger not seem to care that they were doing fucking motocross through the forest?
I think I can handle it, Marcus.
Okay, doesn't exactly answer the question. And it begs the question, where did Jake learn to ride like that? Which is never answered. Hold on though, it's time for Tiny, Unknown Man, to really get this movie started, giving us our first stock footage forest fire. Which of all of the actual film destruction that a movie can use is probably the least offensive. Yeah, animals die, but who gives a fuck about them? This does not go unnoticed by Jake though, whose Super Ranger powers are working overtime.
Smoke. I smell smoke.
How can you be so sure?
Yeah, I don't smell anything.
Well, it's not just the smoke, it's the trees. If you look up, see the leaves all curling upwards. The birds all flying north. It's the forest's way of warning us. It's telling us the fire is coming up behind us from the south.
Yeah.
My spider senses are starting to tingle.
However, Marcus doubts the Power Ranger and says that they shouldn't listen to him as he has no evidence to back his claims.
Why are we listening to him?
Why, Marcus? Because if we continue into the wind, we're gonna hit a wall of fire.
So even though he can't demonstrate the evidence for you, you should listen to him and follow his instructions, otherwise you're going to burn and... Wait, this argument's starting to sound familiar. Though, honestly, I don't know what's wrong with Marcus's idea of going north towards the hospital when the fire's supposedly coming from the south, but Jake growls at him that they're going west, and that's final.
You need to shut up, suit up, and that's it. We're heading west.
Jake's supposed to be the good guy, right? Now it's time for more motocross as the two alpha males duel to see who's the best at tearing a national park apart. Again, you're a park ranger. This is supposedly a national park. Why is this behavior downright encouraged? Marcus ends up finding out that Jake was right. Never mind that, though. It's time for the next big fuck-up in their plans.
It's impossible. The fire's behind us.
Don't look behind us to me, pal. To me, it looks like it's in front of us.
There's no way I got around us, all right? That cannot happen.
It's right there.
There's gotta be another fire.
I'm personally surprised that Super Jake here didn't smell the fire 3 miles before they reached it. You know, like they did the other one.
Something's wrong here.
The only thing that is wrong here, Jake, is you. I'm sorry, guys, but if you keep listening to this crackerjack, then you're as crazy as he is.
Like that time he said that there was a fire, and I told him I didn't smell no smoke, and now see who was right. Yeah, it's kind of hard to dismiss his claims when they have been proven. in front of you. Of course, this leads to a fight.
No, don't do this. Don't do this.
His unquestionable plan is now to ride straight through the fire, which Marcus rebels against by riding straight through the fire a half-second sooner than Jake instructed. This gives us another short motocross action scene with several problems cropping up, like the bike's engines deciding to just stop working, and Chris being trapped in a ring of fire with his now injured escort, but without fail, Jake comes rushing in every single time to save the day. He then continues to use his powers as a Black Ranger to help with the new injuries, but honestly, his attempts to act intense and focused in this crisis just make him come off looking insane.
We can't go south, we can't go west. South is out, west is out. We have to go north. We gotta go north.
They didn't even think us to go west.
I don't understand. The patterns of these fires, they make absolutely no sense. Do you understand that? They make no sense.
They don't? Sorry, with the way the plot and characters work in this movie, fire just coming out of every direction seems normal. Marcus has gone ahead at this point, allowing him to catch Tiny in the act and drive right into the fire like a total idiot. But he's sure to get back up and try to outrun the seriously overt gas leak as slowly as possible, resulting in the obvious. So far, nature hasn't had shit to do with how people die in this movie. Stupidity, though. Stupidity unleashed. Teenagers. The guys hear the blast and show up in time to holy sweet fuck! Jesus fucking God! Okay, the makeup department did a pretty fucking good job there. They speed out of there to another clearing they could easily wait out the fire in, and a helicopter can land, but never mind those ideas. Somehow, between the gurgles, Jake made out that Marcus was telling him that a mysterious man was setting these fires, and using his super ranger powers, deducts that he's going to head east next to cut off their only escape, because obviously this man is trying to kill them specifically, though Jake still can't figure out that it's Tiny. And I don't think I'm spoiling anything with that. Seriously, who the fuck else could it be? Every other character in the movie is there with him. As it is very important to get east as fast as possible, Jake tells the three of them to stay behind so he can go after the mysterious arsonist alone because safety and isolation? In any case, he finds his truck, resulting in an awkwardly edited chase, and although the truck could easily crush the bike like a tin can, somehow Jake drives him off the road. It's then we find out. It was Tiny! What a surprise!
You stole my face, my gold, everything!
Considering you fell how far and exploded, I think your face looks pretty damn good. And since you had to dig your own way out of there, why the fuck didn't you just take the gold with you? Furthermore, this reveals this was Tiny's plan, to trap Jake in the forest and burn him alive. Which means Tiny would have to know that Jake would be on duty that day, would be called out for a medical emergency, and would end up unable to be airlifted to safety. All during the short window he had to spread the gas and set the fires, which he started doing before Chris even broke his leg. That's very impressive, Tiny, but maybe next time just get a gun. Tiny goes after Jake with an axe, which Jake disarms, but there's a spare axe nearby just for him. After a little lumberjack foo, Tiny switches for the convenient chainsaw that just so happens to be nearby. Funny to find all these things readily available in the National Forest, where logging is illegal. But a well-timed block saves Jake, and sets the last exit point they have on fire, royally fucking up their chances for survival while burning Tiny to a crisp. Which, considering what he survived before, doesn't seem all that bad. The guys aren't too upset with Jake for fucking up their only escape route, and they head out to another motocross sequence, weaving around both real and CGI fire until the bikes decide to catch fire and stop working, but not explode. Fortunately, they're within walking distance to the old mine from the beginning of the movie, and there's no way the bad guy would show up in there.
What do we got? Thanks for coming. Now listen up. We got us a serious situation near the old Minnesota mine. Jake Langford and some kids are trapped, and you gotta get them out. You hotshot crew, you gotta stop that fire.
I'd ask, could you zoom in a little closer, but I'm afraid you would. Despite the fact that by this point, every one of them except Jake has suffered broken bones, for some reason, Chris is perfectly capable of walking and the girls don't look too uncomfortable. In fact, the only one who seems remotely injured now is Jake, who is really hamming it up.
We can't move you.
No, not me. Not me. You guys gotta go. Okay, go now. Go now.
No, wait, we're not going anywhere without you. Come on, let's get him up.
No. You guys, Chris, take them out. Okay.
To be fair, a beam fell on his leg and they said it's likely broken, but everyone else has broken limbs at this point too. Quit being such a pussy, Jake.
It's getting hotter in here.
What does getting hotter mean?
Chris, it means that it gets too hot and nothing's gonna ignite. This place becomes an inferno.
Oh God, how can this be happening to us?
It's true, methane, like many gases, has an auto-ignition temperature where it doesn't need a spark or flame to ignite. Said temperature is 1076 degrees Fahrenheit. I think if it gets that hot, methane will be the least of their problems. Their next obstacle is the Pit of Doom, where CGI fireballs rain down from the ceiling, which would ignite the methane. Jake teaches the group about the mystical technology of a rope, and elects Chris to be the first to cross.
Chris, that's a terrible idea.
Look, somebody's got to do it. And that somebody's going to be me.
That's right. Chris is right. It's all about upper body strength, Chris. It's about upper body strength, and he's got it. You got it. Do it.
It doesn't matter that your leg is broken and you've been thrown off the bikes how many times. You're a man, so you're automatically a better choice than any woman. He doesn't quite make it and seriously needs the help of his legs to get up, but he's a man, so he easily pulls it off. The women follow, but...
Go. Okay, good. Faster, go. Good. That's good. Chris, grab her!
Is it just me, or does Jake come off like a pervert? When it's time for him to cross, though, who would happen to show up but Tiny, now resembling a cheap mix of Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees.
Die, pissants.
And you gotta love how his skin was completely burnt off, yet his clothes are relatively untouched. The women run like women, but the authorities don't interrupt the climax as Jake fights off Tiny, shown from Chris's perspective because, you know, it's so much more exciting when we can't tell what the fuck is going on. No explosion this time? I'm disappointed. After he survived how much shit, I don't think showing his corpse helps to explain how the toothpick killed him. But there's still the huge explosion in the tunnel for the two guys to run away from, on their broken legs, so they obviously have no problem escaping the blast, giving us our ending with the two women simply sticking around to figure out who survived and therefore who they should fall in love with.
I can't have taken a liking to things around here.
My one friend burnt into a crisp out in these woods, and I had to use a new friend with benefits. What? I give up trying to understand poorly written women. Well, that was Nature Unleashed Fire, and it's not as bad as it could have been. With a title like that, I don't think anyone was expecting a deep and involving storyline, which is good because we didn't get one. The one we got, though, was so cliché it was ridiculous, and you could easily tell what was coming in the movie simply based on the formula, whether or not it made sense with the characters or plot. The setting is also very confusing. A national park that allows mining, logging, and motocross? I'd expect at least one of those things to be a no-no on nationally protected land, but then again, I'm not from Minnesota, so I don't know exactly how things work up there. Still though, with how much shit they were already doing on the land, I doubt Tiny burning the whole thing down was illegal either. And speaking of Tiny, that's a seriously loose grudge to hold for 6 months, and the planned method of revenge makes no sense at all. Maybe if he had been setting multiple fires for a while and his intention was simply to make Jake's job hell, sure, but he rather clearly stated his goal was killing Jake, and these are referred to as the first fires of the season, so no, it's just shitty writing to fit a pre-made plot. But truth be told, most of the acting isn't too bad. It's not great, but it's not painful either. Plus, the motocross action can be entertaining. It's not enough to boost the experience to generally enjoyable film, but it saves it from being stuck in the abysmal movie pile, coming in at 2 miscellaneous inconsequential extras out of 5. It's not exactly engrossing, but a few things keep you mildly entertained, kind of like a bug zapper at night. Thank you all for watching. I've been Shado, and remember, only you can prevent forest fires, which are a natural part of the forest ecosystem, so you shouldn't prevent them. Then we'll be cool, because we'll be on fire.
Good. Faster. Go. Good. That's good.